I'm sorry to disappoint you all, but Mr. Sains is first in the chat. Oh shit, I cannot see it. There he is. Sorry, chat. Is first. There you go. Oh, oh, it's goat. Oh. Woo. Hello, hello, peepos. Good fucking morning, evening, afternoon, peeps. Oh shit. Yo! How you guys doing? Chatterino. What is going on with you guys? Saints Flow, Nim, Poor Kendo, Nell, Onsen, and everyone else chilling out, lurking in the chat. How you guys doing today? Ooh. God damn. Steve! I can't believe I actually remember that. I Picasso. Why am I Picasso? That's right. You think I forgot, huh? You think I forgot? They want me to call you Steve, huh? I'm not gonna call you Steve on your own stream, okay? This is only here, alright? I swear to God. I'm not gonna call you Steve on your own stream. Why? Cause I think I'm the only one? I swear to God, I don't think anyone else call you Steve. So okay, you got a point there. You got a point there. Ah, man. Steve Rogers. They know I sometimes use Sid's fine. Nah, Daddy Steve. Oh my god. God damn it, Ice. Ah. I know. Boop. There we go. Captain America. Yeah, I think when you said Daddy Steve, I think it kind of proves the point of proves Nell's point. Okay. Call me. Whoa, okay. The Christians, family Christian channel. All right. What is going on here? Call me father. Oh fuck. Okay. God damn it. Okay. Give me a free lifetime of Warren being your male wife, then maybe. It's business stuff, Rad. Oh my. The shady business in the chat. I'm gonna call the police. Popo. Every night. You're saying marriage is shady now? Okay, listen. Okay. I don't. That's not what I meant. What? Because you know, he said like. Okay, whatever. God damn it! Oh shit. Need to save it all. Not me. You. Think of you like every night. Your eyes and your smile like I can you better out of my mind. Who had this Schwarzenegger emote looking ass? It's been in the chat for so long now. This is an old emote. I forgot who added it. I think I did. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Alright, let me showcase the drawing that we did last time. It's my favorite, Lelel. Nice. Also my favorite. Actually, I can decide between Lelel or Shmoy as being my favorite. Lelel was my favorite for like long time because it was a one of the old emote. But Shmo is like 1 year old. It's a pretty new emote. What's up, Dega? How you doing? Especially if you. Oh, god damn it. Oh my god. Why is my chat like this? There's actually an emote for that. I think I forgot who added it. Pull up, pull up. Oh, did he remove it? Or I guess I forgot what it's called. Chat reflecting streamer, true. How you guys all doing, by the way? How you guys all doing today? It's fine. I guess it depends on where you live. It's evening for me. I forgot. Oh, Jig's here. Hello, Jigs. Jigs, you remember the fucking people licking emote? I forget what it's called. I can't find it. I don't know if it's removed or not. To be fair, me and Rad didn't find each other, so I'm the exception. What? Well, true. Played Remnant with paper. It was fun. Ooh, Remnant's a good ass game. I did a proper sleep. I get some sleep, man. First time I say I'm a sleep and shit, I actually can. Hey, high five. Same. I was sleep like a little bit later. I don't know why, man. It always happened, man. Carry me hardcore Remnant when? I don't know. I haven't played that game for so long. Last time I played Remnant was when they released the DLC for the first time, and we're like, "Yo, that looks cool. We should revisit the game." And then that's it. The DLC was also very short, which is kind of disappointing, but it was pretty cool. But yeah, I was when the game came out for the first time, it was addicting for me. I played only that for like the whole fucking week, every day. If I didn't get bored, or if I didn't have to switch game on stream, I probably would play that game for like a whole month. But I gotta stick to my variety streamer. Yeah, Remnant from the Ashes. Of the Ashes? Yeah. I don't know, I just remember it called Remnant. Do you remember that emote? Yeah, I forgot. I think it's Gara who added it. Gara or No? How you doing, Better Jigs? Have you tried watching a very boring Netflix show to fall asleep to? I don't watch Netflix. Instead, what I do is just like open some random streamer that's live at that time, and preferably who have more a chill, or rather just, those streamers who talks a lot. So kind of like, listening to a podcast-ish, but not really. And like, I just watch them as I slowly fall asleep. That's what I usually do. Right, you beautiful bastard. What's up, Zay? Do the sketch commission. I did. Like a couple days ago. I'm drawing something else today. And when are you executing the plan? Get that shit ready. Not yet. Not yet. I feel like I want to do like a more of a, you know, other people as well. You know what I mean? But I don't know how are we gonna do that. Because it would be awkward if I just do yours and I just like that's it. And I was like, Sorry. Uh, Draw these nuts. This and that. YouTube will make it hard to rate. I know. I'm just getting used to it. Wouldn't that burn your phone up if you pass out? On mobile, oh shit, sorry. On mobile, I use a third-party app. I have a sleep timer feature. It's just called BTTV, I think. Yeah, it's BTTV. So it's kind of like Spotify that has a timer thingy. So it's kind of cool. Ah, whoa! Schnipp, schnapp! Ah, ah, come on, yeah! Jesus Christ, the alert's so fucking loud, by the way. Nell! With a gifted sub to Nim. Oh my god. Thank you so much. It's your first gifted sub as well. Thank you. Appreciate it. Much love. Thank you so much, man. And Nim, enjoy. Enjoy the sub emotes. God damn. Thank you. These are some nice nuts, Red. Okay, I'm not drawing nuts right now. Okay, drawing something else. Thank you, thank you. Now it's 75. You don't have to. Gotta go up and down. Just like life. I was about to do the other joke, but I feel like that's a little bit inappropriate with the gifting timing, so I do the wise word instead. You're welcome. Jenny, drink the water. Oh, actually need to hydrate. Water time. I'm gonna save money for my planned audio system. I assumed too much for last month's. Hell yeah! What kind of audio system are you getting? Is it like just like a stereo monitor, or are you thinking about making a more, you know, surround system, or like what's going on? I always wanted to do that, but I live in an apartment with like thin walls. So if I do anything speaker system, monitor system, that would fucking get me kicked the fuck out of the apartment. So I'm still sticking with my Audio Technica headphone. I am 600k from ending stream. Oh my god. You're actually saving up. Jenny. No! Oh my god. Compact surround speaker first. Then I'm gonna buy a format player combo. Ooh. Interesting. Big music enjoyer right there. You spend on hydrate, that's why, but hydrate every hour. Well, you don't have to, but thank you. It actually helps. Kind of reminds me a lot to stay hydrated. Not really. Need ideas right now. Then an amp or two. Just need to saw the library to fit in those gears. Oh my god. You're building a project right there. Good shit, man.
Yabba dabba doo, what the dog doing?
Yabba dabba doo. Room too damn small with a big ass wardrobe. By library, I mean a bookshelf. Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh, cool though. Oh, cool. Might do that someday if I get if I start to move into a bigger apartment with an actually enclosed room where I can build my own bedroom studio. That's gotta be the ideal setup in the future. So my streaming room's not only for streaming but also music making. And I can actually use a fucking amplifier with my guitar, not a fucking headphone. Because my god, it's been so long since the last time I can enjoy playing guitar with a fucking amplifier. I gotta go to rent a studio. It's not really efficient. Hey, what's up, Payne? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Sistine Chapel ceiling? What is that? Good lord. Okay, listen. Let's be realistic here. Oh lord. Just draw one of them. Even then. Don't worry, it's in the key though, so I'll check it out. I finally see someone actually use the people ignore that way. Good job, Jigs. This is the only reason I added that emote. Fucking love that. I just really like the combo it with Sussy. One of these days, I want to see some chibi eyes. I mean, I usually do that. Or rather, usually commissions. Because, you know, commissions, I do emotes or panels. I can show you guys one of the commissions that I'm working right now. Or... Yeah. Hold up, yeah. Let's see. Little snip peek of a commission that I'm doing right now. Or, I mean, if you want to see more of the final product, just go to my Twitter. The pinned tweet is basically a lot of that stuff. A kablam! Boom, bing, bang, bop, boop, beep, bop, boop, bop. So yeah, this is a commission that I'm doing right now. Still in progress, but yeah. Probably got to show you guys once I'm starting the final phase, I guess, final step. But yeah, I do chibi stuff as well here and there. Let cook. What's up, you? It's adorable. Looks cute. Thank you. That is the point of the commission. I'm not really. I mean, maybe because I don't really do them that much, but yeah, I only usually do those kind of chibi arts for like emotes or panels. Usually commission stuff. But my free time, I usually just try to draw other stuff.
Can I commission Chibi Cock's smile?
I don't know about that. The fucking detail, the way this detail says sounds so fucking wrong. Oh god. I'm good chilling, grinding for D2 weeklies. Oh shit. Grind time. Good stuff, man. I think it's a great idea. I don't know. You guys always give me this like the weirdest ideas. I swear to God, chat. I swear to God. My God, why is it so hot? We're entering summer. Blah, blah, blah. Chad, do some of you guys realize that we're already halfway through 2022? Or was that a wake-up call? Like, if you go to the calendar, we're halfway there to the next year already. Yep. We are halfway there. I know. It's crazy, isn't it? Swear to God. Time goes by so fast, dude. When you didn't really even think about it. The bugs are multiplying. Oh god. I mean, I'm from Asia, dude. I'm already used to that. I'm gonna be honest. Summer or not, they're everywhere here. They're literally everywhere. So whichever the fucking climate or weather it is, it's just gotta be bugs everywhere.
What does tofu and a dildo have in common? They are both meat substitutes.
Good one. Okay, that's actually a good one. That's actually a good one. I'll give you that. Holy shit. I haven't heard that one actually. That was a good one. Oh my god. Smart. Oh boy. Tofu. Kind of want some tofu right now. Ooh, you know what? Miso soup sounds so nice right now. Oh my god. I did a little thing again. Miso soup, dude. Ooh. Right now. Oh. It's warm miso soup.
What do you call the useless piece of skin on a penis? A man.
Oh my god! Why are you so good at this? Holy fuck. Alright. Good one. Thank you for stopping by. Nice. And have fun with your DBD. We should play together again. It's been a while. Should revisit that game again. Although I need to finish this total chaos game. Then I could do some more other multiplayer stuff. But yeah, have fun. Thank you for stopping by. I love the smell of meat. Which one? Do you prefer tahu or tempeh? Ooh, I don't usually choose between those, but if I really have to choose, it's gotta be tempeh. Like, if I have to choose, yeah. But I love both. Either way, those two are fucking. Mm. It's hard to dislike them. So yeah. The tempeh is just like, oh, holy shit, man. With sambal as well. Oh, yes. I'm still here just looking. Oh, yeah. My bad. I thought you were immediately gonna know. I thought you lurked because you're gonna play some DVD. That's what I meant. Kind of miss eating tempeh. Why can't you eat tempeh? Just make one. Unless it's hard to find one for you. Wait, are you not in Indonesia? Oh, I guess you're not. Is it not common in your country? It's like one of the most common thing in here. Hmm. Hmm. We do have tempeh, but it's like hard to get on my country. Ah, I see. My country is like one of the common thing you can get. It's so nice as well. Like goddamn, it's really hard to deny. Like it's really hard to not like tempeh. You know, honestly. And if you never had it, you're missing out, Chad. What is tempeh? I mean, I don't know how to describe it. It's like how do you describe tempeh in English? Let me just trust this on Wikipedia. Tempeh is a traditional Indonesian food made from fermented soybeans. Oh wait, that's actually straight up. Never mind. Yeah, there you go. It is made by natural culturing and controlled fermentation process that binds soybeans into a cake form. Now I get it from the description. It sounds weird, like fermented beans into like one solid like cake form, but it's not gonna taste like a cake, obviously, because it's a fermented soybeans. But oi, it's delicious. It's really, really delicious. Honest. And I guess if you can get the, I don't know. The problem is that the way it's being made, it's like very specific. That kind of hard to get it outside Indonesia, I guess. I have no idea. But if you get a chance to try out tempeh, go for it. You don't want to miss it out. Basically. Basically. Mhm. I used to eat it back when my family have Indonesian maid on my home, and she introduced tempeh to my family, and they loved it. Oh, God bless her. Bless her soul. That's what I'm talking about. Bringing the culture to outside. Hell yeah. Tempeh, I swear to God, everyone should give tempeh a try. It's really unfortunate that it's really, really traditional and not that like, it's not a fancy food. Like, you can get dirt cheap in Indonesia. You can get it for like fucking, I don't fucking know, $1 for like a half a cake, half a slice of the whole fucking thing. Like, it's so cheap because it's so easy to make. Like one of those traditional food. The thing is that also, if I know that a lot of you have tried tofu, the Japan uh tofu. That is basically a different type of tahu from Indonesia. Like tofu from Japan and tahu from Indonesia is basically the same thing in a different packaging or in a different presentation. So it's kind of like it's more of a like a Asia cuisine, I guess, at that point. That's why I like tofu so much as well. So it's really nice. It really is. It really, really is. And you know what's even better? They're they're straight up healthy. They're just like, obviously you don't want to eat that too much, but like, as a daily meal, it's perfectly fine. It's just so nice. When you have such a good meal that you can eat every day, it's so nice. Such a nice feeling. Because they're perfectly healthy. Okay. My juicer says tofu tastes like nothing. I mean, technically not wrong. Because here's the thing, like, it's really hard when you say it tastes like nothing because if like nothing tastes like nothing. Something tastes something. Like, what I mean. But it is like mineral water ish. Like it's that same kind of when you describe what does a mineral water taste like. It's similar to like how do you explain what a tofu tastes like? And that's why most cuisine or most culinary stuff uh, that have tofu or tahu usually have a very strong uh, what do you call it? Soup or sauce or anything. It depends on the meal, obviously. But like for example, miso soup. Miso soup, the tofu itself is nothing. Like it's just the texture is what kind of ish. But the soup is what really gives the flavor. So it's like the texture of the tofu and the flavor of the soups kind of combined to each other. It's just like very nice, relaxing meal. I'm trying to sleep early, so see you peeps. All right, now have a good sleep. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for the gifted subs. Appreciate it. Much love. Thank you. But yeah, that's tofu chat. Tofu or tahu. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have. Wait, have you not? Have you never? Wait, who's in the chat that haven't had a tofu before? Because I thought tofu is pretty popular, considering it's one of Japanese, you know, very very popular food ish. Is that Nell I know or different? No idea. I don't know who's the Nell that you know. Not me, never ate or saw. Oh no. I mean, I guess it depends on where you live, I guess. I mean, because I live in Asia, so Japanese cuisine is very easy to get as well. Sushi, sashimi, all those kind of stuff is really easy to get here. Why would I eat a fake meat when I can eat real meat? Kaikona? Okay then. Good one. We really have to. You really should. Like I would think that if you guys have tried sushi, you should have tried tofu. Cause it's kind of like, you know, usually not in every sushi restaurant now that I think of it, but traditionally when you before you eat or usually before or after, it kind of really depends on your mood or how you want to present it, but you usually eat miso soup before or after the main meal because it's kind of like a appetizer. You can kind of depends really, but I do like it as an appetizer. It's just like very, palate, not necessarily palate cleansing because miso soup flavor is very strong as well. So I don't know what you call it. It's just miso soup, man. Miso soup is miso soup. Head to bed then. All right, good night. Good night, Nell. It's like then again, I'm a fan of anything soup related. Soup or porridge. Like I'm not a huge fan, but I never deny them because they're always nice. There's always nice. to have. Like it's warm, it's soft, it's delicious. Like what's to hate about it, you know? You cannot really hate a soup or porridge. I don't know. Everyone's different, I guess, but still. Miso soup is okay. Korean stew is top tier for me. Okay, that's a completely different comparison. One is a soup and one is a stew. Alright, alright. There's a very, very hardcore different. It's like you're trying to compare a fucking Indomie to fucking ribeye steak. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love both of them, but like it's different meal for a different kind of situation, man. Jesus Christ. Of course, I love me some stew as well. I don't know Korean stew. I never really had specifically Korean stew, but like stew and stuff in general, I do love them. They're always nice. They're always nice. Ba, 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 ba. Then again, now that I think about it, I'm that kind of person that's really hard to, deny anything. Like I'm really good with eating literally anything. It's not really hard to feed me. Anything edible, I usually eat. I have like almost zero complaint on food or beverages or anything. It's really easy for me to eat those. Korean stew is basically soup. Dude, when I Google it, it looks filled to the brim. Like, 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 is this Korean stew? This is Korean stew, right? This is what I get when I Google Korean stew. Boom. Right? Oh, there's different type. Okay. Well, this is the one that kind of like everyone when I Googled it. And motherfucker, you try to compare this with this. Man. Bruh. Bruh. Like this is different. It's completely different. As Korean army stew, why is it called army? Because is it because it's an army soldier food? I don't know. Sounds badass. Not that too. It's not that. It's not that too hard to feed me. It's not that hard to feed me. At 22. True. It's true though. Evil character intact for cat avatar drawing Madam Cat. Yes, I am evil. Meh. What's up, Zed? Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Try search Donjang Jike. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Okay, okay. Okay, this looks a little bit more chill than the army one. Okay, I see what you mean. God damn. Most most Korean cuisine that I know of that usually, if you look up Korean meal from outsiders' perspective, you usually get the popular ones, and most of them are fucking red, spicy stuff. Like, you know, uh, I forgot the name. I really love them. Mm, I forget the name. Never mind. Yeah. As an Indonesian, though, it's really easy too. to digest all those super spicy stuff. Because mine also have like a shit ton of spicy stuff. Hmm. There's history behind it? Oh. I like it when a meal have like a history behind it. It's so cool. It's fun to learn the story behind it, you know?
History of Korean Army stew is basically after the Korean War, the US Army
Okay.
left Korea and left their ration. Korea, when they used to be the poorest country during the time they had to use US Army ration and combine it with some Korean ingredients.
Oh. Hence Korean Army stew is born. Oh. I see, I see. Interesting, interesting. History! Peppo G. We're learning, we're learning. Okay, okay. I guess it kind of makes sense why it's like filled with like a bunch of veggies, but also like some meat here and there. So. I see, I see. That is made of Korean human steak. Okay, I don't think that's the case, you. That'd be a little bit horrifying. Spam's surprisingly very popular there, and in Philippine. Oh, in Philippine, yeah, well, yeah, because I feel like it's because of Actually, I don't know. Spam is moderately popular here. It's not that much because we also have our own local brand, but I feel like spam is in certain countries they're very popular because I mean it's a spam, you know. It's really hard to not like how the convenience it is. Not to change at all. Punkagiga. Oh, my throat. But my throat is not very nice today. My throat is not being very nice. Proceed to drink more coffee. I need to take a break from coffee, I swear. I think I need to start taking like a 1 or 2 day offs of coffee every week. Like that should be a good idea. I haven't. It's been a while since the last time I, you know, go on of my day without a coffee. It's kind of. I don't know. Kind of dangerous. Now that I think about it. You be so strange at all. Oh baby, I need you. Don't you need. I know since that I you like every night. No smile like. No drink every day, puss. What do you mean, puss? I would love to, but I feel like I need to start taking. Keep an eye out on that one. Cause yeah, I don't know about. Yeah, I don't know. In the long run, I feel like it's gonna impact me in a more big way. Serious matter. I should probably start keeping an eye out on that. Manga Giga. Why is this outfit so fucking hard to draw? Bruh. What time is this? 9:30. Shit. Okay. I don't want to draw for too long today. I'm gonna keep it max at 1:30, 1 hour 30 minute. Remind me, chat, if I get past for too much, because potentially we're gonna play 2 games today. As you guys can see in the title, I want to try out V Rising, but also want to continue. If V Rising's not that too addicting, I want to continue Total Chaos. That's right. I'm not planning to drop Total Chaos. That game's actually pretty interesting. So we are gonna continue that. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I bet. Mm. Oh, let me change the music real quick. Change the vibe. Oh, the song. Rush. Mm, mm. Ooh. Mm, 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 mm. Tap, tap, tap. God, I miss Bleach. Such a good show. Mm. Bang, kai. Mm, 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 mm. Mm, mm, mm. Mm, 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 mm. Hey, block party. Yesterday I was listening to music pretty loud and my right ear had this popping feeling. Now sound is not as loud in that ear. Jix! I think you should check that out. I think you should be worried about that. Just to be safe. Honestly. No, eardrum explode just like make him completely deafened. I think. I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor, but I think you should definitely check that out. Volume. Listen to music moderately, chat. Volume on proper, not too loud. Especially if it's headphones directly into your ear. If it's speaker, I understand. But headphone, oh god. I'm guilty of that as well, considering I also use headphone. There's some song that I just like. I need to go full ham on it. Listening to it, I'm sure it's nothing opium. I mean, just in case, just in case. Digga-digga-doo, 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 digga-digga-doo. You need to get your hustle on. Place. Bum, bum. What the fuck? Such a transition. It's a good song though. The same as it was. It's just us. Oh. You know it's not the same as it was. As it was. As it was. You know it's not the same as. And us. You know it's not the same as it was. This world, that's just us. You know it's not the same as it was. As it was. As it was. You know it's not the same as. You know it's not the same as it was. As it was. As it was. Is there a React Indie later? Yes, sir. As usual. Especially because today we got Mulligan's Skill Up. Skill Up new week. This week's in gaming video. I saw it earlier before I started stream. I was like, oh shit. It's gonna be hype. It's gonna be hype. Woo! Kind of want to try a different hairstyle. Okay, I have 4 links ready for you. Hell yeah. Gotcha. Woo! Woo! Ponytail? Are you a fan? I also rarely draw ponytail, so yeah. Fair enough. Although I'm trying out a different hairstyle right now. That doesn't have a ponytail. It's a short hair again. I know, I know. Yamashina shikanai wa what 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 what. Damn, that's a forehead. Biggest forehead. As she was, as she was, as she was. Oh, My Chemical Romance. Dude, I'm addicted to this song. Abora, I'm forced to turn my volume to max. I fucking challenge you, bitch. No, I'm kidding. Don't do it. Enjoy it in a moderate amount of volume. Oh, please lay while our hearts still stay. Let our blood invade, but I in pain. Yeah, convictions were a passing phase. May our ashes feed the river in the morning rays. The ferment crawls, we lay in the foundations of decay. Oh my god. I love Jared's way, dude. Ah! Oh my god. It's my fucking hero growing up. Fucking love his voice. I have to hear every guitar sound. I'm gonna turn it up. The race. Dude, I wanna play the guitar! Let our bodies fly! Yo! So then his spirit flies. Take his body says surround like cannon and eyes. No! Dude, I want to play the guitar so bad. Can we take a break and play the guitar real quick? Can I? Ah! Dude, fuck it. Okay. Listen. Okay, it's not bad actually. 1 hour 30 minutes already? Okay, perfect. All right. Listen. I'm gonna play the song real quick. Put my guitar on. Ah, fuck. Let's hit myself. 1 sec. Let me set this up real quick. Dude, the guitar in the song is so fucking fun to play. I'm sorry, but I have to. Hello? Oh my god. My audio fucked up. Can you guys hear me now? My audio fucked up for like a couple seconds. Alright. Wait, is audio fucked or not? Hold up. Audio check. Ding dong. Ugh. Can you guys hear me? Bada. Oh no. Oh yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I know. Now I need anyone else except me or Jigs to let me know if the guitar sounds too loud or not, because I know it's never gonna be loud enough for Jigs. So. Oh god. Sec. Oh shit. Oh my. Oh shit. Okay. God, my table's a little bit soaking wet. It's like I need to make sure that. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh. um. How do I do this? Hold on. 1 second. Ah! Ow! Hold up, 1 second, 1 second. Oh god. Alright, should be good. Ugh. I gotta hide my toys. I mean, what? Okay. Huh? This cam is so fucking scuffed. Okay. Bam. Oh! That will be up. Hold up. Alright. Alright. That's big enough. Okay. Was that too loud? Or not? Was that loud as fuck? Still too loud? Okay. How about now? Can we play Among Us song on that thing? Why do I even do that? God damn it. Alright, there you go. Okay. Now, what's the right volume for this, though? Or if this is the right volume. I gotta turn it out a little bit more. I forgot to mute my mic. Hold up. The music just stopped. Wait, what? Wait, the music just stopped. Holy fuck, I fucking love this song! It's so fucking fun to play, man. There you go, Chad. That was... God. It's really fun when you find a really good song to play. It's really fun to play. Especially when it comes to like very janky rock like it. I love it. I don't know. Red cam. I mean, once in a while. It's like a very rare thing, but yo. Do you have a shout out from me in case I missed this? I'm sorry. It's like once in a while, I know. There's actually another, not really My Chemical Romance song, but it's Jared Way and Ray Toro duo song for his show. Do you guys remember what it's called? Do you guys remember his comic that got turned into a Netflix show? Can I get a glimpse of your long hair? Hair reveal! Yeah, my hair is pretty long, dude. This is my fucking pandemic hair. But yeah. There you go. What's another song that is fun to play? There's another one. It's a progressive metal though, so I don't know if a lot of you guys are a fan of these one. But let's give it a try. Because I played this before I think, but I only learned the song for like 15 to 20% of it. With the band Hair Reveal, not today. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint you. Alright. Let me try the song. Mind you, volume, turn it down a little bit just in case, because this is a progressive metal. So let's give it a go. The song is not loud enough. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit more. I don't know how to do this one yet. I haven't learned this part. This one's a little bit hard. It's a lot of yes. This one's a little bit out of my range. But the ending is not that hard. So let's skip to that part. Last one. But yeah, that's another song that I'm still learning about. It's really hard. This one's not it's not that easy. It's a little bit more technical stuff. A little bit more. It's not like My Chemical Romance stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's all. Yeah, that's the two song that I've been learning. So yeah. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for coming to raddtrap performance. Woo! Very nice. Very satisfying. My ear. I think I just fucking blew so many ears up in the chat. Ah, hold up. Bam, bam. All right, back to chill. Trying my best. Okay. Just put down my guitar. My baby. Hey, what's up, Saints? You're a little bit late. Just missed out some stuff. By the way, I forgot to ask you guys, is the song that it's playing in the background and my guitar playing, is it synced up? Because last time it was a little bit off sync. I was like, I forgot to resync it again. You finished off my eardrum, thank you. You're welcome. So beautiful, oh my god. Bam, bam, bigga, 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 bam. Should do a guitar jam stream next time. Where I just kind of like accept any kind of like song request from you guys and just like try to jam it out. I don't really do that because I don't really play a lot of songs. I usually just play songs that I really like to play. So, yeah. What do you mean late? I showed up 2 seconds into the stream. No, you just missed out a little bit something. I don't know if you're AFK or not. Pretty sure it's synced from your amazing performance. Oh. A mediocre performance. It's just a shame that I cannot really play guitar and use my mic at the same time with this kind of like current configuration, because my mic would literally pick up anything. So like my guitar strumming without the guitar sound would get picked up by the fucking mic. Oh, it sounds eh. I have to mute myself whenever I play my guitar and stuff. Pac-Man. That would be cool. I know. I need to widen my library though when it comes to guitar playing, because I'm gotta be honest, I only play songs that I really like to play. Like there are songs that I like to listen to, and then there are songs that I like to play to. The newest My Chemical Romance song, the Foundations of Decay, that is a really fun song to play. I mean, it's a really good song, of course, but it's really fun to play in terms of like guitar. And the second song earlier, the Puzzle Box, that progressive metal, that one's really fun to play as well. Basically, any guitar songs that have like a very melodical part for the guitar, and it sounds badass, I usually like it to play it. Like, I wish I can play a single song from Polyphia. I swear to God, I wish I can. But my God, ability, so allow me to play those stuff. Not yet. Smedga. Maybe in the future. Alright. React Andy time. Let's see. By the way, I love Jared Way. His voice, his voice, man. I love his voice. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Alright, if you guys want me to check out some videos and stuff like that, go link it in the chat so we can check it out together on stream. Okay, okay. Ite. No, yeah, I already clicked some of you guys as well. We also got Shill Up.
This video,
which I'm gonna put at the end because it's gonna be the longest one, I'm assuming. Okay. Okay, I need to check this out real quick. Tim Henson, the guitarist, the frontman of Polyphia, or the guitarist, released the unplugged version of the song for Playing God. I need to see this. Okay. Let's check that out real quick. Okay, I need to... We need to check that out real quick. Okay. Oh, my boy. My boy! Alright, Jix, turn it up again. Because you might want to listen and look at this carefully. Oh my god. What the fuck? Okay, it's too loud, sorry. Dude, his left hand is a... It's a completely different creature right there. God damn. This guy's... He's different. Okay, I can learn the riff of this part. At least. It's fun to chill. Riff. What the fuck? What? Okay, dude. What the fuck? Oh my god. How do how do you do how okay, hold up. I need to see that again. Look at his left hand. Oh. Bro, I don't. I mean, not just left hand. The right hand technique here is also. Bro. Usually, if I'm a big fan of like a certain band or a certain musician, I would at least try to cover like one or two of their songs throughout their library, you know, discography. But I cannot learn a single song from this band. It's just the fucking skill ceiling on this one is like if you're fucking Gold Nova in CS:GO, and this guy is just like global elite, like straight up. Like, oh my god. Next video. Wait, it's not video. Ah, Ubisoft. Real life versus video game. Damn, really? I mean, you know, their attention to details definitely way, way up there when it comes to uh what is the developer name again? Fucking Ubisoft Montreal? Is it Montreal that made Assassin's Creed? I think it was Montreal. I forgot. Their visual sides definitely. You know, you don't really question them. They know what they're doing, basically. That's pretty cool, though. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Oh, another guitar video. Ichika Nito. The most beautiful 1-minute guitar solo. Alright, let's check it out. Whoa, wait. Is he using a whammy bar? Okay, that's rare. I just realized he rarely used the whammy bar. Oh, damn. I like to abuse this a lot. Especially in a very rough rock or metal song. But I rarely see Ichika with that whammy bar. Usually he takes it off from his guitar. It's actually crazy. Alright, nice songs actually. It's actually pretty chill. More Uden Ring. Oh, you guys got more videos. I got into PvP after 100% and already got a salty message because I killed someone with inescapable frenzy. MFO they cannot dodge it, easy to attack to dodge. That's still a thing, huh? Classic From Software PvP. Souls game PvP. Classic. Oh. God damn! I was about to say the knees is very detailed. Whoa! Are we zooming in? Oh my god. So loud.
Trades. This is all about the strategy. Anna,
Here.
I'd like to trade with you as well.
Okay, you want to trade with me? Okay. What do you want, boss?
How much money do you want for the orange?
Everything you
Your
have.
orange.
Oh fuck.
How much is that?
839.
Oh my god.
Okay, I know you have to hit the thing.
Are you actually adding it? Can I do
Wait,
300? Can I do 300? Wait, Anna, wait.
Ah, yes. The game of Monopoly.
No. Go back, pedal back.
Deal or no deal?
What about 300?
300? What do you think?
That's
I'm
it?
like
What?
fucking rich or something?
It's worth 200. I'm paying double the price.
You gotta
I
pay
know
up.
he's the most shrewd businessman in this game.
Corrupt
You want my
politician
property?
ever made.
500.
It's actually accurate.
Buy your mom for 500.
Don't give her any.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Yo!
Oh my god.
600?
All or nothing. 600 my ass. 839.
Fine, I'll pay. Are you down for
No.
700? Okay, well then just go for it, I don't care.
Alright, you say hello to poverty. You know, guys, number one rule to being rich, you exploit the poor.
Oh my god.
She's turned into what she
She's playing the game right. She's playing it right.
This is a good time to point out that Enno looked up guides on how to win Monopoly.
Wait, I didn't. I didn't.
You fucking
You showed me the video.
You fucking cheater.
No, I
You showed
didn't.
me the video.
I learned this last time and I forgot most of it. Maybe I wrote like a note, you know?
I can hear you moving the notes.
Okay, let's see.
Who the fuck take notes for Monopoly?
One property.
What the fuck?
light
Everything you
blue
own. Everything you own. Everything you own.
For 544.
A no deal.
God, we're getting so toxic to each other. Holy
Starting,
shit.
guys. Come on, Pomo. My
Wow.
offer's still
That's
up.
Monopoly.
Sell that blue property, I'll give you a lot.
Everything. How much are you gonna give me?
I'll give you 500.
No.
Oh shit.
My people need water.
I need water.
I like to build my house on the one orange that I haven't built yet.
No.
What do you mean no?
Let me
Enno's
build.
vetoing
Okay, I will
now.
click this button if you give me 500 monies.
That's literally all I have.
Okay, roll me again. Get me out of here.
Okay.
Railroad,
Oh shit, you have a
railroad.
double again!
10,
Go.
10,
Come
10.
on,
yeah.
fucking put this man into poverty.
Oh, just barely missed
Oh my lord.
it. Ooh.
God loves you. Come on, land on me. Bad That's
Oh,
right.
I did land on you.
That's fucking right.
Bruh.
God fucking
Give
hates you.
$20. Oh no.
What's up, Adian?
The
Yeah, I'm
real
eating right
I
now.
have a lot of fucking cash, but I don't have property.
Because no one will trade with you anymore because you're scary.
Yeah, you're asking for the impossible.
Doing
What guide
great.
did you read? Just told you to exploit people over there.
No, I'm just
Whatever they
following what
offer
the
you,
government
ask for
does.
everything they have.
She read the Declaration of Independence.
Okay, Banana,
Go
can I
on.
trade with you? How much for your brown property?
500.
Deal.
Oh.
We see how much it's worth though. If it's worth 400, add another 100.
Shut up, Homo.
It's worth like nothing. It's worth like nothing. Those are
It's the
terrible
cheapest
properties.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all part of the plan.
Oh shit,
It's worth
60.
$60.
Yeah, I can afford that.
500 for it.
Yeah, I'll give you
Oh.
500, girl.
Oh my god.
Alright.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Remember my name, Anna Alouette, okay? You rich,
I'll
I rich,
remember
we got
that.
each other's back.
Banana, don't listen.
Shut up.
She'll
Or you can't offer
backstab.
anything into society, you just stay in jail.
Wait, how long is this video? Okay.
Wow.
Has become the king.
I'm not sure we should have invited.
We're
Anna to
eating?
Monopoly.
Just some sandwich.
Alright, deal?
Yes.
We didn't even get to choose whether we paid her. She just made us an offer we couldn't refuse. She came in with a gun and was like, "You're paying.
Yeah.
I'm giving you $50."
Is that the
Voting for
blue?
me. That's jail. Oh, that's
Oh,
cold.
barely.
Oh, got my money back
Ole.
because God loves the rich.
I fucking love Anna.
You never have kids. Okay, what would you like to do?
What?
Oh my god.
Give me my egg.
God loves the rich.
Oh my god. I love how toxic Anna can get. It's always entertaining.
Today, we are here.
Whoa, what the fuck? 11 minutes about Korean armies too? Okay, let's check it out real quick. It's a little bit too long because we got like 4 more videos and some of them are like 10 and 15 minutes, so check it out.
Today, we are here to try a bit of 부대찌개.
Isanji,
Actually
yes.
stands for Army Base Stew.
Josh,
Yeah,
my twin brother is in the
Yes.
army.
this is true.
You should feed him army stuff.
Your brother's a busy man.
Well, I'm a busy man. What are you talking about? I'm busy as well. But you live close to us. Charles is all the way on the army base.
Charles.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh shit!
Welcome
Very
back.
well, man.
You got him as well.
Here on your base.
Yeah.
Again.
My soldiers terrified. They have no idea. They were like, "So what we're gonna be eating? What we're gonna be eating?" And I was like, "It's gonna be fine. It'll be fine." Have you guys had Korean food before?
No.
Never. No.
What the fuck? The whole fucking army?
Alright.
This dish is called Korean Army Base Stew.
What the hell is that?
Looks like a cable tie.
They look like your arms waddling.
Right, literally 10 minutes ago.
This is
Okay.
팽이버섯. 팽이버섯. Yeah. You don't really find that often in England. I've only ever seen it in Chinese and Korean restaurants. Do you recognise anything in there? Baked beans.
Enoki. I love Enoki.
Baked beans in there. There's baked beans in there.
That's kimchi.
That is kimchi. Very good. Very good.
Spam?
That's spam.
Spam?
Yeah.
Wait,
It's not my favourite. No.
spam is in
It is in a horrible tin, and you peel it open. It looks like cat food. So
Korean
this is
army.
actually
Do you have spam in it?
Yum, yum.
That's interesting.
a paste we actually made from a bit of
Sandwich, no
gochujang,
rice, fake
which is like a
Asian.
chili paste.
Yeah,
Bit of
it's just a
sugar, bit of
small
garlic,
snack, man.
Soy sauce and some chili powder as well. Sounds good.
Oh, water goes in there as well.
Yeah, water goes in there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course it's spam because
It just doesn't look
it,
right.
it used to be a
Yeah,
US.
just like mix in with like.
Yeah,
beans.
okay. Based on the history.
You've never poured a bunch of water on top of your baked beans? Absolutely not. The reason spam and hot dog and beans and some of these ingredients you might recognise are in this Korean dish is because it actually originates from back in the Korean War, leftover ingredients from American army bases that Koreans would take and then like make a Korean stew using, yangnyeom, so there's gochujang, some Korean flavours.
That's amazing.
Yangyum.
Lovely history lesson.
Yeah,
Josh, thank you.
So it's basically something thrown together.
All thrown together.
Typical army, isn't it? You've been to the cookhouse.
Typical army, innit?
All right, should we try some of this? Yeah, go for it. And I want to try and get a good taste of all the different ingredients in there. This kimchi here, have you ever seen kimchi before?
Never heard of kimchi.
You've never heard of kimchi?
Is this a
Wow,
popular
it's gonna be very
meal?
difficult.
in Korea? Or is this more like a special dish?
Wow.
Yeah, it's spicy.
I have not tasted something like that in this place, I'll tell you what.
That's hot, that. It's gone straight to the back. To take the soup straight. Oh, that's good, actually. Yeah. Oh, it's got a kick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bit spicy.
In the back of my throat.
It's not too bad, like, it's great.
No, the sauce is good though.
Yeah? You like that?
It's cheap. Yeah. Based on the ingredients, yes.
I'm already sweating. My hands are gone sweaty already. Don't mind me. You're trying to kill me?
That's Korean food.
You've got a bit red.
I thought it was mainly just tomatoey based, but yeah, the heat is.
Yeah, spicy.
Spicy? You said you've never tried baked beans in like a soup or a stew before.
Thoughts? Yeah, it's spicy. Is there any water or anything?
In Korea, spam is actually quite a common ingredient, but in England it's not so commonly eaten.
No.
When was the last time you had spam?
I think in rations
Some time
about
ago.
15, 20 years ago.
Okay.
What?
Not for generations.
See if this tastes like the spam.
Spam is
you
not a
remember
thing
from
in
your childhood.
British? In Britain?
Nothing like it.
I was trying to piece it in, and it's actually pretty decent because you've got like a smoky flavoured, like the bacon you taste to it with. Obviously, it's soaked up the sauce in it.
Spam is really working.
It's working,
I
right?
am really surprised. I am a snob about meat.
Oh, God. It's really good.
You like that?
Yeah, I really like it. They're not like normal mushrooms.
No, they're quite different.
Quite spicy.
Quite spicy.
He keeps commenting about the
I
spice.
can taste the spice. All I can taste is my mouth absolutely on fire.
No.
This actually isn't it.
You're not adding more to that.
When you have this, yeah.
You add more to this.
I'd say the most common
Hey, the noodle, of course. Ramyeon.
slap that in the budae and cook it together.
This is so nice.
And once the ramyon's cooked up a bit as well, final touch.
More?
Final touch.
Cheese?
A little bit of mild cheese, yeah.
Mild cheese?
Yeah.
This is so random.
It's very random.
Get cheese in there.
Cheese.
Get that powder in there.
You're up for that?
Yeah, a bit of cheese. That's not got no spice, is it? Let's yeet that in.
American style cheese
Yeah,
as well.
American cheese, because it goes back to the tradition of
yeah.
food from an American army base. And you just slap that on there. Boom. And let the cheese melt on top.
Really?
Sugar. The cheese kind of melts into the soup. You'd never heard that sentence before. All right, so a bit of noodles, bit of cheese.
Oh, what's this going to be?
Oh, that's delicious.
Wow.
Yeah, how's that?
That works so amazingly well. That
Yep.
is so good. Yeah. That is so good. That is so good. The cheese is amazing.
I know. It shouldn't work.
No.
But it does.
We've never done this. How have we never done this in the UK with like a pot noodle with cheese?
Yeah. I'm not good with a chopstick, so I came prepared.
What? You brought your own fork?
Oh, damn.
I came prepared. I love it.
Man's prepared. Oh, no.
You might need a new battery.
It's full of flavour.
You like that?
Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
Better than the instant noodles we've had before?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
Fantastic.
100%.
It's really nice. Mine's more of a logistical thing, trying to get it from there to here.
Okay,
It's
that's
pretty nice.
the problem.
I feel like I shouldn't like this,
Really?
having cheese in noodles, but
Yeah.
it is nice. And I
Okay.
do like this, yeah.
It's like comfort
The
food when
flavours are
you
too spicy,
put in
it's a bit
cheese
too
on it.
dense. You can try a bit of rice.
Don't cut it.
Ah, of course.
Slurp it, yeah. He knows, he knows. What do you think?
Why is he...
I think the slurping makes it a bit hotter.
Oh, he's
You know what? It
slurping.
makes it spicier.
Yeah, my lips on fire.
Yeah.
He ain't said a word. He's scranning off.
It's decent. It's great. I can't complain.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
I'm really enjoying spam.
Yeah.
That for me is my Who eats spam?
I know.
Yeah.
Really affordable.
I'm actually just quite gobsmacked
By how good it is. I really am surprised.
What's that, Badger?
This guy, you want to try this?
What is it?
It's kimchi.
Kimchi.
Come back for more kimchi as well. You guys can give it a try if you want. Do you want to try?
I'd love to try it,
Okay,
yeah.
let's go. So like a week or 2 weeks, and then you can get some that's been fermented for months.
That's not for me, that.
That is right up my alley.
Really? Wow.
Kimchi.
It's good.
Very nice.
Go for it. That's quite a lot.
That's quite a lot. You don't have to eat all of that in one.
Oh my god, you do not eat that. I don't.
So if you're having a barbecue it up.
Oh, this guy is not.
It's nice, but bloody hell.
There you go.
What do you think, guys?
Bloody hell.
But it's not even spicy though.
Yeah, but you're from the Caribbean, mate.
No, fair enough.
That doesn't mean anything, but you're from the Caribbean, mate. That's my excuse. I'd probably rather try a bit more of this.
You're gonna have some more?
Yeah.
Help yourself, mate.
That's the thing with a jjigae is like, I wouldn't call it a fancy food. You know,
Yeah.
you've just got all these basic ingredients.
But this is fancy to me.
And what?
It's funny
What do
though.
you mean?
It's like authentic Korean new dish with lots of spice, so it's kind of fancy to me.
Oh,
Even though you're
I want
absolutely
that right
putting
now.
all these
That was
non-fancy
so nice right
ingredients
now, dude.
together to create something that, to me, that was quite fancy.
Yeah.
And it tastes remarkable.
I think one of the things why it feels really good is because you literally just made it like in front of me.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, an artist with normal paint colors, you know, with a crappy brush. And nothing special.
But you
and then
mix
he
it
goes,
together in the right way.
boom, Mona Lisa.
Just a
you know,
heart.
and you're just like, what? How did you do that? You're some kind of genius.
I don't know what's happened, but it's really good. I'm going for more, guys.
Budae jjigae. What was your favourite part?
Favorite part was possibly being to experience Korean food for the very first time.
Okay.
When we started, I was like, that doesn't
This is
work.
nice.
The yum yum just changed the colour. really good. So yeah, it looks brilliant.
I think the weirdest bit in there for me, really, is probably
Kimchi.
and mushrooms, mate.
The long mushrooms. Bigger mushrooms.
Stringy mushrooms.
I guess they don't have a lot of mushrooms in there.
This is the future. A bit like garlic bread, the future.
In England.
Definitely, yeah.
You're a garlic bread fan as well.
Yeah.
You guys are still, you're going for it.
I'm just being nice. Oh. Oh, I see, my boobs are sweating, man. That's it, man.
Sweaty tits, right?
I got sweaty on the boobs.
Sweaty tits. On the end?
That's a wholesome video. That's a wholesome video. Go on. Good video. You know what? This is nice content. I'm subscribing. Good video. Ah, man. That's funny. Dude. When was the last time I had some... Because, you know, in Indonesia, at least in my city, we also have these Korean authentic restaurant. I forget what it's called because it's in Korean. But I only went there once with my friends back in college, and you know it's a little bit on the more expensive side, but they have like a lot of stuff. And I kind of want to go back there. Oh man, yeah. I might have to make a revisit on this Korean cuisine or culinary. Blah, 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 blah. Good stuff. All right. Next video. Oh god, oh shit, what the fuck was that? We got a little bit more. Might not gonna watch the psychology of the Elden Ring thing because I feel like we have too much video today. Oh, what the fuck is this? The hardest KO in M1 medieval. I think I've seen this before. It's like a medieval sport. It's kind of crazy. It's a very interesting sport. Whoa! Oh my god!
Слышно? Бой продолжается.
Damn. Okay. It's just a sports chat. But yeah. Holy shit. Oh, that's blood. Oh, that's blood. That's blood.
This video is...
God damn, okay. That's some crazy shit. Alright, let's check out this one first, and then we'll go to this week in video games. Damn, For Honor moment. No finisher? Okay, dude. Calm down. Okay, this one is just uploaded literally 30 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago, according to Saints. It's a Still Rising story trailer. Is it revolt? No, sire, it's revolution.
Oh, you're just as they described.
Ah, that Nacon name.
Of death, descended from the heavens to vanquish the clockwork tyrant.
Everything horrifies me. The king's wrath. His army of indefatigable automats that Monsieur de Vaucanson has built for him.
Your mechanical revolution has changed the face of the kingdom.
So many innocents strewn about the square. The streets are teeming with machines.
Aegis, the king must be stopped.
You have roused the spirit of rebellion. My rightful enjoyment is being challenged.
You're no more human than the machines that laid waste to this city.
She's not like the others. She's capable of speech and treason.
Soon, however, those who bear love for their country in their
Some nice
hearts
music.
will be ready to fight again. More brave citoyens will surely join us soon. Alors, can we count on your support?
The king must be stopped.
I couldn't agree more, madame.
Interesting. Interesting. I'm gonna be honest, the visual is not that, like, it's okay, visual side.
Can we count on your support?
Not a big fan of the aesthetic. It's like,
I couldn't agree more, madame.
yeah, not really a big fan of the aesthetic, but you know, I mean, I'm excited to see more gameplay. I'm excited to see more gameplay. It's just that, you know, Nacon, not a big fan of Nacon. Spiders game dev. Never heard of them. Oh god. Okay, they made Greedfall. They made Greedfall. Okay. I mean, okay, Greedfall is not a bad game. I'm not saying that, but it's not a. I'm not a big fan of the game either. I guess we'll see. Oh, Bound by Flame as well. Technomancer. This one didn't really launch. Didn't really hit the spot for a lot of people. Yeah, this is like a AA developer. It's not AAA, so you know, you gotta limit the expectation as well. They're AA. Their aesthetic is not really lined up with my likings, but because it's a Souls-like, I think I'm gonna give it a chance. I'm gonna see what's up. I think it's Souls-like. Not too sure about it, but I just want to see more gameplay. That's all. Okay. Bound by Flame was decent. I didn't play that game. Bound by Flame. I don't know. No one really recommended me this game stuff, so I never really played this, I'm gonna be honest. Okay. It's like action adventure RPG. Got a little Dragon Age vibe to it. Oh shite! Okay, combat. This is very early, like around 2012, 2010. Action adventure stuff. Looks like Elix. Maybe Elix inspired by this? I don't know. I'd recommend this as an old game. Was okay. Yeah. I just like I saw the name a lot, Bound by Flame, but I never really tried the game or checked it out. Alright, that was cool. Yeah, Still Rising, bias wise, yes, I will. If I get the chance, I will give it a try just because it's Souls-like. But other than that, I'm not a big fan of the aesthetic. If it's not Souls-like, I probably will not give this game an attention. But yeah. Alright. Now the show that we have been waiting for. This week in video games.
This video is brought to you by Green Man Gaming, who are celebrating their 12th birthday with an absolutely massive sale. Tons of huge discounts just a click away, so check the link in the description or stick around to the end of the video to learn more. Gamers! I know I'm using this intro block as a running commentary on the Halo TV show, but you'll have to indulge me at least once more, because our boy Master Chief got his cherry popped! That's right, boys, old John Halo made an orbital drop straight into a Covenant hangar. We may not get to see Sergeant Johnson this season, but at least we can take comfort in knowing that the Covenant got to meet A. Johnson. And remember, he knows what the ladies like. Alright, it's all done.
Oh my
it's out of my
God.
system. Let's talk about some gaming news. It's a pretty big week, what with, you know, Starfield getting a bump, Nintendo talking about their hopes and dreams for the next Nintendo Switch, and Silent Hill leaks galore. Plus, did you guys see that Gotham Knights gameplay? Yeah, we'll talk about that one. Alright, let's do it. Here comes the news block. Let's kick things off with that delay news that shook the industry.
I saw this.
Starfield and Redfall got delayed into 2023. The most shocking thing about this announcement was that Redfall was scheduled for this year? What the fuck? Ain't no way.
No
For real, I don't
way.
think anyone expected Arcane's next game to ship this
Nope.
year, given the deathly silence surrounding it. So I think we can just file this one as pretty unremarkable news.
Yeah.
Starfield, on the other hand, that's a big deal, and it hurts for a lot of reasons. First and foremost, Starfield was the Xbox game releasing in 2022, and I mean, it was
No, this is the last video, this is the last video.
Party Xbox game releasing in 2022.
We need to play some games.
With that gone, there is now a massive gap in Xbox's holiday lineup, which hurts holiday sales since big games attract consumers during that critical holiday shopping window when they're considering buying a console as a gift for a husband, a girlfriend, or for little Timmy. It's natural to think comparatively about this stuff and say, well, Sony's gonna have God of War Ragnarok, and now Xbox has nothing. But let's be clear, pretty much everyone is certain that God of War Ragnarok is also gonna get delayed.
Yep.
So I certainly wouldn't count on that being on shelves come Christmas time. Nintendo isn't really competing with either Microsoft or Sony, but they have a very strong year-end lineup. What with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Splatoon 3, Fire Emblem Warriors, and some new Pokemon games coming. Nintendo fans are eating well in 2022, Xbox and Sony ponies not so much. All of this created a bit of a hubbub online about the management of Xbox and how they've really dropped the ball and how Phil Spencer is really bad at his job. Bitch please, Xbox was literally the highest rated publisher of 2021.
True.
That is a fact. Game Pass is absurdly good value and continues to deliver month after month. Xbox has invested in an impressive stable of studios who are all making cool shit like Psychonauts and Forza and Hellblade 2 and Grounded and tons more.
We need to
Some
revisit
solid
Grounded,
heavy-hitting
honestly.
Studios like id Software,
That game was so
Arcane,
fun.
Bethesda, not to mention the soon-to-be acquired Activision Blizzard. It's not perfect, of course, and I agree that it sucks there are no first-party Xbox games in 2022, at least not yet. But let's not lose sight of the big picture here. Xbox is doing well, and they're positioned well for the future, and I'm glad that they're led by someone who is willing to delay video games rather than push them out before they're ready. It's a good thing too, because according to Jason Schreier of Bloomberg, Starfield was in really rough shape as of early last year. Quote, last spring before E3, I spoke to some folks on Starfield who were extremely worried about committing to an 11/11/22 date based on the progress they'd made so far. Next Cyberpunk was the term floated. Good on Bethesda for delaying even after announcing that specific date, end quote. As big as that delay news was, this was the real story surrounding Starfield this week. As after Fallout 76, I think it's pretty crazy that Bethesda would commit to any date unless they were 1000% certain that they would hit it, and I think it's especially crazy that actual Starfield developers would liken their own game to Cyberpunk when talking about its potential readiness at the target release date to Jason Schreier of all people. Like, you know what you're doing when you say that to a journalist like Jason Schreier. He's gonna say it, like, publicly. So yeah, I think obviously the game was in a pretty rough spot. You'd think that after the industry's shaking catastrophe that was 76, Bethesda would be a lot more gun-shy about committing to a release date, but apparently not. So yeah, I agree. It's good that Starfield has been delayed because we want it to be good, but many years on, we still haven't seen any gameplay or received any concrete details about how it plays. So I'm pretty cool on this one until we see something real.
True.
Hopefully the Xbox showcase on June 12th delivers. In other Xbox news, a crippling outage this week has highlighted Microsoft's inconsistent approach to game preservation. The outage affected Xbox's storefront and back-end servers, meaning that people couldn't buy new games or in many cases play the games they've already purchased.
No.
Turns out that even offline single-player games have a DRM check requiring Xbox's service to validate the game license before
that
you boot
sucks.
it up. It's a check that doesn't exist for Sony or Nintendo games. So Xbox fans were rightly pissed off to A, learn this exists, and B, experience the effects of it firsthand. It's a policy that's very inconsistent with Xbox's stated commitment to game preservation and backwards compatibility, since you can't be in favor of all that stuff while also requiring DRM checks for every game on your marketplace. Service has been restored now, but it's only a matter of time until this sort of thing happens again, so watch this space. Final piece of Xbox news.
If you guys are wondering why the fuck Xbox single player games have DRM on it, is because Game Pass. Or just how the way Microsoft install their games through Xbox application. Like if you notice, or if you guys have used Xbox Game Pass on PC and before, the way they install their games is not like any other company do it. Like, you know, usually a company would like, you know, fucking, there's a folder called the game, you know, the game title, and then inside there's like literally the whole fucking game. But in Xbox, their method is like encryption based, so that everything is tied to the account of your Xbox. So it's very, like, in their own way of saying, it's very secure, but at the same time it's tied to online account, which kind of sucks, but it's Xbox, it's Microsoft, what do you expect? Yeah,
is that Gears of War might be getting the Master Chief Collection treatment. Not the first time we've heard this rumor, to be honest, but it keeps resurfacing. And
I'm down for this. I actually wish I can play all Gears of War on PC, because as in right now it's only 1, 4, and 5 on PC. If this is a thing, we might get a Gears of War marathon, because apparently I'm missing a lot because I don't own an Xbox. So what's up, Satya? Feeling good today? Can I drop a wisdom? Sure.
Often where there's smoke, there's fire. Nick Baker of the Xbox Era podcast spoke about this collection in the past, and he provided some further commentary on it this week, saying, quote, a while back I said there is another Microsoft franchise that is getting the Master Chief Collection type treatment. I'm of the belief that it's coming this year, end quote. If that's true, it'll almost certainly be revealed at the Xbox showcase in June, so stay tuned.
You mean about game folder? Yes. Gears of War went downhill so hard. 4 was okay, but 5 is just no thanks. I'd rather clean cat litter. The fuck? Although I kind of understand. Yeah, a lot of people was, especially the fans of the series, was really upset about the 5th game. But I'm more talking about playing the game from Gears of War 1. And I heard that Gears of War 2 is like literally one of the best in the series, or shooter game of all time. So I really, really want to play Gears of War 2, or at least the first trilogy, especially. Oh my god, what the fuck? Can get so hung up on where you'd rather be that you forget to make the most of where you are. Every cloud has a silver lining. You're not where you want to be. You feel like you're supposed to be somewhere else. Well, say you could snap a finger and be whatever you want to be. I bet you'd still feel this way. Not in the right place. Point is, you can get so hung up on whether you'd rather be that you forget that you make the most of where you are. Take a break for worrying what you can control. Live a little. That's actually pretty good. It's actually a very, very good, you know, wisdom. Thank you. Good shit. Wisdom words of the day from Satria. Thank you. Claps in the chat. Thank you.
Let's do some Sony Pony news now, and overnight Sony revealed some of the games headed to their revised PS Plus program, as well as some new details about how they'll be handling back catalog
I don't
purchases.
care.
As a quick refresher, the new PS Plus has 3 tiers. A base tier that gives you access to online multiplayer,
I don't have PS5,
cloud saves,
Sag.
and some free games each month, so what you already have now. There's an extra tier that gives you access to a back catalog of PS4 and PS5 titles, and a premium tier which gives you access to a collection of classic games through both local download and cloud streaming,
demos.
as well as timed game trials, which are basically demos. So, what's in the mix for the extra and premium tiers? Well, it's important to remember that this isn't all games, but there's still...
I see Bloodborne. Oh my god. I see Bloodborne. I see Bloodborne. Bro, can we just have Bloodborne on PC, man? I just want to play Bloodborne.
Plenty to be excited about here. Demon's Souls, Ghost of Tsushima,
Please
Director's
play
Cut,
mobile game
Spider-Man
Smile.
Miles, Eternal, the Uncharted Collection, Wipeout Omega Collection.
I don't know
And
about
that's just
that.
some of the first-party stuff. Third party, we've got Control, Final Fantasy 15, Guardians of the Galaxy, Outer Wilds, Red Dead 2.
I played
and Hollow
Genshin
Knight.
Impact
It's
once
A solid
and
cross-section
I think that's
games,
enough.
Not bad at all. It's when we get to the classic games collection that things get a lot more dicey. It's a really lean collection of PS1.
They got PS1? Oh my lord. Siphon... Brother man, Siphon Filter. Any boomers? Please tell me I'm not the only one that remember this game. Ape Escape, a lot of people know this. Siphon Filter though? Sheesh. Tekken 2 as well? Goddamn.
And PSP games, and it's like these games aren't selling for big dollars now.
You played,
so it
do you
surely
really?
wouldn't have been that pricey
I
to
did.
fatten this library out. The PS3 lineup is a little chunkier, featuring stuff like the original
Ico!
Demon's Souls, Infamous,
Good
Ico,
game.
Ratchet and Clank, Devil May Cry, and Fear. But it's missing a lot of other stuff. I mean, Metal Gear
Infamous
4
1 and 2.
isn't in there. That's like the one game that everyone really wanted to see on this service, and it's not there. So some other important details around all of this. New games will, of course, be cycled in and out of this service over time, so this is just a starting point. The classic games, some of them will benefit from higher frame rates and resolutions, which is very nice. Most impressively, select PS1 and PSP games that people have previously purchased digitally will be available to download for both PS4 and PS5, meaning that you won't need to subscribe to this service if you don't want to.
Nintendo.
You can just buy those games on Sony storefront.
Nintendo.
And that's awesome. Finally, the service also includes the newly announced Ubisoft Plus Classic, which is a stripped-down version of Ubisoft's current subscription service. This package includes 27 Ubisoft titles, including Assassin's Creed Valhalla and The Division and some other ones, so that's pretty cool. Response to this lineup is pretty mixed. The classic games have really bummed people out, but the PS4 and 5 lineup looks pretty solid. For me personally, as I've said in the past, I'm already pretty well serviced by Game Pass, and nothing here really jumps out at me as a strong reason to bump up my sub, especially given that I live in Australia and the premium tier is basically non-existent for me since Sony don't do any cloud streaming here yet. So yeah, I definitely don't think this is trash, which certainly a lot of people think that for some reason. I don't agree. I think this is great value for those who don't have a PC or an Xbox.
As
Hundreds of
I said.
newish and back catalog games for 15 or 20 bucks a month. That's awesome value. But like I said, it's just not something that I personally want or need right now. To be honest, I'm more excited that they're now selling PS1 and PSP games again, and they're going to be playable on PS4 and PS5. That's fantastic news, and I definitely plan to take a much closer look at that over the coming weeks and months.
I'm gonna be honest. It is kind of like the fact that they do like 3 tiers subscription plan. I get it. A lot of people probably just like, boo, this is trash, boo. But I do feel like for someone who solely only have a PS4 or PS5, like nothing else, they don't have Xbox, they don't have PC, but PS5, it's a good thing. But I feel like if you come from perspective of a PC gamer who happen to have a PS5 or an Xbox who also have a PS5, like, you know, you have multiple platform or multiple console, it is like, you know, it's a little bit like I said, if I have, you know, I have a PC and if I have a PS5, if I you know, if this is a thing, I'm probably not gonna subscribe to it because, you know, it's a waste of money. But if you only have PS5, I can see that being a thing. You're like, you know, I don't spend my money on a lot of other games, so, you know, $20, $15 a month just for, you know, I think that's a good deal. Gotta be honest. 3 tiers, yeah. I know it's kind of weird the fact that they do 3 tiers, but I don't know. It's Sony, you know. Sony always doing their own thing. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really think about it because I don't have PS5, so who cares?
Capping off console manufacturer news, Nintendo held an indie showcase this week. It began by mentioning Australia.
Wait, they
and everyone
did?
was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, it's happening. We're finally getting a release for Silksong. Here we go. Of course, we were all that Hollow Knight clown JPEG by the end of the night, because it turns out that the Aussie title was, in fact, Wayward Strand, a narrative point-and-click adventure game that's essentially a video game adaptation of a country practice. If you get that reference, you are both old and Australian. Outside of this, there was a few nice things that they showed off. I'm a sucker for rhythm games, so Soundfall definitely piqued my interest. That's out now, by the way. Gunbrella is the next thing from Devolver Digital. Really like the art style on that one. Totally Accurate Battle Simulator was announced for the Switch, arriving northern summer. And I don't know about you, but I think these dudes stole the show.
Souls-likes are known for their difficulty, and we want to create a game that maintains that challenge while being approachable for new fans of the genre.
Ooh, what if you died in one hit when you're not wearing a shell?
I just said it's supposed to be approachable.
Oh, what if every time you dodge roll, there's like a 1% chance that you just trip and fall over?
Well, looks like our segment's over, everyone.
These lads are Aggro Crab, and they're showing off their crab theme Souls-like, Another Crab's Treasure, a punishing third-person melee combat game where you play as a crab in search of a shell, and you have
this
to
game
make
looks
do
awesome.
with whatever trash you find lying around. Love a look at this. It's out sometime next year.
This game
the
looks
Switch has
awesome.
been an absolute game changer for Nintendo, returning them to center stage after the disaster that was the Wii U. With their latest handheld console hybrid getting a little long in the tooth now, attention is turning to what might eventually replace it. Speaking during an investor Q&A session this week, Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa gave some insight into where Nintendo's head's at. Quote, "The question of whether we will be able to just as smoothly transition from the Nintendo Switch to the next generation of hardware is a major focus for us. Based on our experiences with the Wii, Nintendo DS, and other hardware, it's very clear that one of the major obstacles is how to easily transition from one hardware to the next. To help alleviate this risk, we're focusing on building long-term relationships with our customers. While we will continue launching new software on the Nintendo Switch, we will also provide services that also use Nintendo accounts and other IPs outside of gaming software. We intend for this to help build a lasting impact with our customers," end quote. It's always impossible to divine any meaning from the mercurial Big N's public pronouncements, but it's nice to imagine a world in which Nintendo offers a permanent digital library and backwards compatibility for their titles.
True.
Right now, the Nintendo emulation scene is massive because Nintendo has never made any efforts to preserve their games or make them playable on new platforms other than expensive remasters. So Nintendo are leaving a lot of money on the table there. Hopefully the Switch 2, whatever it ends up being, doesn't repeat these mistakes and offers a path to long-term ownership of titles, but it's Nintendo we're talking about here, so probably not. For literally decades now, we've all been begging Konami to do something, anything with the Silent Hill franchise. Kendrick Lamar put out a new Silent Hill before Konami did. Pretty topical reference, huh? I'm pretty proud of that one. This week, though, our cup runneth over with Silent Hill leaks as Konami scrambles to put the lid back on them.
Yeah, we saw
We've known for a
this.
long time now that Konami had a number of studios working on different Silent Hill projects. The one we've officially known about, sort of, is one currently led by Bloober Team, makers of The Medium. Video Game Chronicle claimed to have the inside track on that one, saying that it's actually a Silent Hill 2 remake. Quote, "It's claimed that the remake will feature reworked AI, animations, puzzles, and several new endings, and potentially release as a timed exclusive on PlayStation consoles," end quote. In addition to that, it's rumored that we can expect some Silent Hill offshoot projects, sort of like stories set in the Silent Hill universe. This week, a handful of screenshots were leaked online, but were quickly DMCA'd by Konami, confirming their authenticity. I can't show you them here, obviously, or my channel will suffer the same fate, but they do show off a very different art style than the series has previously known, and later reporting would suggest that these screenshots were from one of those offshoot projects. Finally, Video Game Chronicle are also reporting that a new mainline numbered Silent Hill game is currently in development at a Japanese studio, but there's no word on which studio that is yet. Unsurprising, given that we'd certainly heard this rumor before, but it's nice to hear it again. Hopefully this is being outsourced, because I don't trust Konami themselves to make anything good at this point. With the Summer Games Fest coming up soon, hopefully we get some sort of announcement or teaser, but that does feel a little optimistic. For now, we'll just have to settle for leaks and DMCA screenshots. Don't worry, just Google them, you'll find them in no time. Turning now from one primeval to the next, EA. Big week for them, massive in fact. It all started this week with the confirmation that they were ditching the FIFA brand for their football, aka soccer games, and were rebranding it EA Sports FC. EA put out a statement announcing the move, saying, quote, "Next year, EA Sports FC will become the future of football from EA Sports. Alongside our 300 plus licensed partners across the sport, we're ready to take global football experiences to new heights on behalf of all football fans around the world," end quote. This is a move a long time coming. For over a year now, EA have been hinting that they would walk away if FIFA's licensing costs weren't significantly reduced, with the publisher spending billions to keep football's governing body happy. Andy Wilson clearly had jack of it, walking away from the deal and leaving the FIFA bosses none too happy. How unhappy? Well, in a strongly worded missive, FIFA boss Gianni Infantino lived up to his name when he said, quote, "I can assure you that the only authentic, real game that has the FIFA name will be the best one available for gamers and football fans. The FIFA name is the only global original title. FIFA 23, FIFA 24, FIFA 25, and FIFA 26, and so on. The constant is the FIFA name, and it will remain forever and remain the best." End quote.
This guy.
His caps, by the way, not mine. It really sounds like the FIFA boss was basically saying, we're going to make our own FIFA game with blackjack and hookers. I mean, I don't know this dude, but there is absolutely no way in hell that he knows the first thing about video games when he just starts spouting off that there's going to be some studio out there ready to make a high-quality football game in time for FIFA 23 or 24. Or 25 for that matter. It's going to be very fun to watch him try though. For a while now, VentureBeat has been assuring us that there's a new Need for Speed game coming later this year. We didn't get confirmation of that today, but we did get some insight into who's working on it. We already knew that Criterion was helming the project, and this week we learned that Codemasters Cheshire Studio would be merged into Criterion to deliver the next installment. EA acquired Codemasters recently, so this sort of reshuffling is to be expected. No more specifics on this new Need for Speed game yet, but we'll likely hear something more about it soon.
Interesting.
The other game that VentureBeat have been talking about for a while now is a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order. Speaking during his Grub Snacks podcast, Jeff Grubb claims that the title will be called Jedi Survivor, that it will be out in 2023.
That's such a lame title.
To current gen consoles, so PS5 and Xbox
Why?
Series. Grubb said that EA Respawn were targeting a 2022 release, but things have slipped. Personally, I'm very keen for this one. The first one wasn't perfect, but I liked a lot of what it was
the first game.
And if Respawn can tighten the screws a
We
bit,
finished
I think
that
we're
as
in for
well.
a good time. Filling out EA's upcoming slate is the Dead Space remake, which was early